Everybody, it's Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast. I mean, I guess it's better late than never, especially when you're dead, and that's unfortunate for MLB great Pete Rose. Okay, so I'm sure y'all heard by now that MLB has removed Pete Rose and other deceased players from the permanently ineligible list. Rose was banned due to betting on baseball during his career, so he betted on baseball, never as a player, only as a manager, winning 3 world championships with the Cincinnati Reds. Okay, he's the all-time hits leader, all-times on base. Okay, all-time most games played. I mean, damn. It would have been nice to while he was alive. He passed away this past September. Okay, 83 years old. It would have been nice to see him, just get that. MLB couldn't bend over not once. You know what I'm saying? Like he got banned in 89, late 80s or whatever, early 90s, whatever it was. 30 years. Okay, look, I get it. Maybe they didn't like how he was still, showing up at events, signing autographs and stuff, because Pete Rose is still a draw for many MLB fans. Just at the time of him being alive, literally a living legend. And what he's been able to accumulate statistically, along with the championships in the MLB. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dog, right? I guess he outlived the lifetime. No, but they couldn't. They have to. Baseball has this weird way of sticking to the principles. It's one of those weird sports of the old guards, gatekeeping like hell, not showing any type of leniency or compassion. Okay, I get it. Gambling is one of the cardinal sins. I understand that. Not allowed. Okay, he gambled. Man. The guy didn't take steroids to our knowledge, never cheated the game. Okay, people called his nickname Charlie Hustle. Okay, gave you everything he got. And damn, it'd have been nice. It'd have been a nice bittersweet ending, just to he went through all that, and finally, even when they found out that he was dying, right? They didn't want to at least acknowledge, hey, once you pass away, we'll put you in the Hall of Fame. Could you give a brother that? Did they even tell him that? It would have been nice. He could go away peacefully in his slumber as he transitions, knowing that he is going to be immortalized. And that can be one of the last beautiful thoughts he could have had. But no, you know what I'm saying? I watch baseball, I like baseball, but you know what? A lot of baseball has a lot of these weird practices when it comes to, who gets in, who don't get in the Hall of Fame. Okay, these weird old traditions of beaming players with the ball, trying to police for players trying to, flex and add entertainment value when they be knocking home runs out the park. You know what I'm saying? Not to derail, but it just adds to all of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't, man. I can't imagine another sport where a player of this magnitude, gets in trouble for this, something like this, similar to this, and then they just get banned. And we all know he's a Hall of Famer for sure, one of the greatest MLB players to have ever lived. Right? Rules aren't for everybody. I know life ain't fair. Okay, and rules do get broken. Okay, I know he ain't the only one that was betting at the time. Okay, the only player that was betting, Pete Rose, come on now. But he was betting, and I believe the Reds were doing pretty well or whatever. I think. I'm not sure what their records were. You know what I'm saying? But MLB just probably didn't like Pete Rose. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what it boils down to. A lot of times in life, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay, and it seemed like all the people he knew didn't like him. I couldn't make this one last concession. You know what I'm saying? I think if Pete Rose was allowed to be, if this happened, while he was alive, okay, I think everybody could understand that. Not everybody can get away with gambling and breaking the cardinal rules, but if there was a player that could do that, it was a guy like Pete Rose. You know what I'm saying? What a shame. I'm glad he's in. Like I said, better late than never. Would have been nice to have that better late than never alive. But instead, this is something that can be added to his tombstone, and he can get his bust in there. I mean, it's meaningful to the Rose family, but I mean, damn, it's more meaningful to the guy that's no longer here anymore to enjoy that moment. I don't care if he gambled and stuff like that. Okay, we're looking at what he did as a player. and the stats that he accumulated. All-time great player, man. Great for Cincinnati Reds organization, their fans and all that stuff. They can celebrate this, but I mean, damn, the one guy that should be that should be around who celebrated it before he passed away, or it would have been nice to if they had announced this a couple years ago, it would have been nice. And I get it. He didn't do himself any favors and speaking on it a lot and campaigning and still signing autographs and being around MLB events when the MLB wasn't really trying to feature him and stuff like that. I understand all that. But again, if anybody deserves a pass for all that, and I get why he was doing it, because I thought he probably felt it was some BS. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing out on money. I'm losing out on a whole bunch of stuff. Not have a Hall of Fame tied to my name when I felt I've paid my debt. I've earned it. I've taken accountability. You know what I'm saying? Well, people still think you don't really own up to it. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, the statute of limitations and much time has passed. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? He's in there now. Congratulations to him, man. It's just baseball is just a weird sport when it comes to these unwritten cardinal rules and everything. And you got to live a lifetime to finally get some leniency. Damn, man, tough. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.